So I'm going to go through the best drills that really helped me to perform a nice, strong, clean muscle up. And I think without a shadow of a doubt, the most important attribute that you need to develop is a very strong pull. Once you've done that, pretty much most of the work has been done. Now, if you don't have much strength and you're not able to produce much force, you're not going to be able to produce much power. So it's really important that we have strength as a foundation. And then once we've got that, we can start to train power. So give you the ability to use your force to move as quickly as possible through movements. And so power is essentially force times acceleration. And this is something key for you to understand during your muscle up training. The first drill I've already made a video for, and it's all about how to make your pull-ups as strong as possible. And so I'm going to link the video below, but basically guys, you need to get to a stage where you're able to easily perform weighted pull-ups for 3 to 5 reps. And if you can do weighted pull-ups with 10 kilograms, then you're going to be very well placed to get some strength and power in your movement, which is really going to help you develop an explosive muscle up. So that's the first key component. Start getting your pull-ups as strong as possible. So the most effective drill that helped me to learn the muscle up was the dead stop pull-up. And essentially what we're doing here is we're developing our explosiveness, and we're also trying to make our pulling mechanics a lot more specific to what happens in a muscle up, which is essentially pulling the bar down and pulling yourself away from the bar, creating space between you and the bar. So what we're going to do is we need to start with our hands kind of shoulder width apart, and then from here, very important that the lower body is locked. So I'm going to bring my feet together and I'm going to lock my quads, because that's going to ensure that I am super light when I'm pulling. If my legs are relaxed completely, then it's kind of like heavy dead weight and it makes the movement a lot harder to perform. So lock the quads, keep everything nice and tight. Tighter is lighter. And then I'm going to grab the bar, roll the shoulder blades down the back, and then I'm ready to start to pull away from the bar. You need to create space between you and the bar. You need to focus on pulling the bar down towards the waist. So let me show you what it looks like. Legs are locked, shoulder blades down the back, very tight grip, and pull. And so that's what the movement looks like. Now, obviously, that could be difficult for you to go straight into that movement and to get as high as that. So we need to do a regression. Let me show you what to do. So in terms of regression, all we need to do is find a band, loop it around, and that's going to provide some assistance for the movement. Now, let me just be clear at this point. Do not start doing this movement until you have got your pull-ups super strong. There's no point in taking shortcuts. Otherwise, this is not going to be effective. This is simply going to be a way to help you to develop power once you've got strength. So make sure you've got your strength first. Now, if we come to this, all we need to do, loop this round. Then I'm going to sit in, create that resistance, grab the bar, sitting down, and then I'm in position. You might need to just move these. I do need to move these in a little bit so that my hands are shoulder width apart. And then you've got assistance during the first part of the movement, which will be the hardest. So the same technique cues apply. Legs locked, shoulder blades down the back, pull, lower yourself slowly. And so obviously you can use different bands, but if you're having to use a heavier band in order to do this, you shouldn't be doing this. You should be focusing on getting your pull-up stronger. I'd recommend that you're using the thinnest band or just one below that, and then you'll know that you are well placed to develop power for this movement, and obviously progress through those bands until you can do it without a band. That's essentially going to be the same pulling mechanic, so pulling yourself away from the bar, but it's going to be even more applicable to the muscle up, because now we're getting the legs involved, and it's very important that we're keeping the legs locked throughout this movement so that this is going to make your muscle up look nice and clean. And so the technique for a high pull-up, again, because this is more about power, so we're focusing on using our force to accelerate as quickly as possible. This is going to be a movement that we just need to do a short amount of reps for, 3 to 5, and you can even pause between each rep. So I'm just going to do 1 rep at a time, and I'm going to talk through the movement in between the reps. So setup is very similar. We're going to do the magic button. Once you've done the magic button, you're just going to focus on almost like a throw-in in football, like this, but obviously with your hands facing forwards, so that you can pull the bar towards the waist. And so this is what it's going to look like. Tight grip on the bar, magic button, and then you'll pull. Let me just do it now. and that's right to the waist. And so again, what you want to do is just do that pull. Because it's explosive, it's fine to come down and rest before you go again. So you'll see from behind, when I do the high pull, I'm going to be leaning back throughout the whole movement. So and that's how you perform the high pull. Now again, this is one of those movements where you might need a regression. So using a band is going to be very helpful here as well. And for whichever regression or band you're using, you need to be able to pull the bar to below your rib cage / belly button, because that's going to make your transition more effective. If you're not able to pull below your bottom ribs, then you need to choose a regression so that you can do that. Very important. So the next most important drill that I learned that really helped, particularly with the transition, but just building strength through the whole movement, is the negative muscle up. And so what we're doing here is we're essentially strengthening the weakest part of the transition, which will be, in this case, the triceps. And to have that strength is going to massively help with power generation, but also get you used to understanding where the position is for you to perform the transition. So without further ado, what we want to do, we want to get this slightly above shoulder height. Ideally, this will be fixed because obviously this can move a bit. So wish me luck on this one. Hopefully this does not slip. Grab onto the bar, slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Go into the transition, push up, and then focus on lowering, keeping the elbows pinned back. You'll notice that my legs are locked out in front of me too. I'm coming around, keeping tension, and down. And so performing, again, this one's a strength move, so 3 to 5 moves is going to be really useful to help you develop the strength for the muscle up, but also to help you understand where we're going to be performing the transition. So the next drill that we're going to do is all about timing, and it's the jump muscle up. You've got your power, you've got your speed, you need to figure out where to start your transition in order for you to get up and over the bar. And that's what we're going to go through now. Ideally, you might be in a park whereby you've got a bar set up so that you can hang into a squat position. But that's going to be the most important thing because we need to use our glutes to help us power up over the bar. And in order for us to use our glutes, we just need to be able to start in a squat position. So what we're doing here is in the jump muscle up, we're focusing on the elbows flicking up quickly. Okay, that's all I want you to think. I just want you to think quick elbows. And so this is kind of the movement that we're going through. We're just driving the elbows up super fast before we pull up. And you want to start to do that, and this is what's going to take you time to master. You want to start to do that as your chest is approaching the bar. Okay, so start with a relaxed grip, because that's going to help you to move your hands over the bar a lot more seamlessly. Start in your deep squat. I might not be able to talk so much during this, but I'm going to jump up, wait until my body is fully extended, chest approaching the bar, then I flick the elbows over. And this obviously has to happen very quickly, which is why this needs a lot of drilling. So I'm down, jump up, into the transition, push up, and then you can do kind of a negative on the way back down, and then go through it again. And in between reps, I want you to be really mindful and just think, where do I need to make this movement as effective as possible? Where do I need to start to flick the elbows over? How quick can I do it? These are things that you really need to start to think of rather than just think, get over the bar. You need to think about the details of the movement a lot more. So if I go down again, I'm in a full stretch position. I can use my glutes. I'm going to lock out the body and then start to rotate over. And push. Down and through. And so that's the jump muscle up. That's going to be one of the most useful drills that you can do in order to learn where to start your transition. And then once you've started to learn that, you can obviously start to apply that to your muscle up training. So they're the drills that I think help me get nice, clean, effective muscle ups. I found them super useful. I hope you find them useful too. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.